All right, well, thank you for logging in, everybody. This is the How to Choose Your Donor webinar with Fairfax Cryobank. I wanted to let you know that the webinar recording will be shared with all registered participants via email. And if you miss this, you'll also get a copy in your email. I also want to let you know that there is a spot for questions. So if you have any questions that you think of during the presentation, please don't hesitate to put your questions in that section so that we can address them later. My name is Doreen Bond. I'm the manager of client services here, and I'll be presenting today. We also have our moderator, Morgan Barker, who's our marketing director, who's going to be assisting me later with the questions and answers. All right, our goals for this webinar is we're going to review the donor categories and brands, the specimen vial types and procedures, the donor products and information that Fairfax offers. We're going to show you a live donor search demonstration so you can see how our donor search on Fairfax Cryobank's website works, give you an example of that. We're also going to go over our forums, the resources, and have that time for you to ask any questions that you want to have answered. All right, so this is really for clients who are ready to do a procedure or are beginning their journey with an insemination procedure. Either way, our goal is to make this process in choosing donor as easy as possible. We want to try to take all the stress out of it that we can for you. Now, we are not a medical facility. We always recommend that you talk to a medical professional to help guide you in your fertility goals. There is a lot of information that we are trained on and available on our website, but we always recommend that you collaborate with a medical professional. The biggest first step is going to be completing the terms of use. That is an 8-page document that's the agreement between us as a cryobank and you as a client of the cryobank. It breaks down what we agree to as the cryobank and what you agree to as a purchaser from the cryobank. I always recommend that you read that. There's a PDF version that you read that before you sign it. It's very easy to sign, but it has a ton of really good information, including our quality standard, information about the ID program, lots of really great information. As far as starting the journey to choose a donor, we often recommend that you sit down and create a list of characteristics that you value and that are important to you. That can be physical characteristics. Maybe you want your donor to be blonde, or maybe you want your donor to have dark hair. The ethnic background, the donor's personality, their education, as well as the donor categories. Right now, we have approximately 350 donors to choose from. So what we want to start doing is narrowing down what exactly your ideal donor would be, or what characteristics you're looking for specifically in your donor. We offer a few variety of donor categories. Non-ID donors, so they were previously called anonymous, but these are donors who did not agree to release identifying information to a donor-conceived person, or a DCP. We also have ID donors. Those are donors who agree to release identifying information to a donor-conceived person who's at least 18 years old and has been registered in our ID program. Since March of 2020, we've only accepted ID donors. For a donor-conceived person to access that information, they must be 18 and be registered in our program. Then they're able to come back to Fairfax and ask for their donor's contact information. We're able to release that once we confirm everything. We also have non-ID to ID donors. Those are donors that were previously non-ID. California passed legislation that allowed non-ID donors to change to ID, meaning those who were previously anonymous could request that their information be released. That's going to stay on our website listed as a non-ID donor, but it would be in their summary profile that they are open to that. When the DCP requests ID information, identifying information, once they're 18 years old, it's the same process as an ID donor. We have several different brands. We have Fairfax Cryobank, Pacific Reproductive Services, that was acquired in 2016 and it is based in California. Some of those donors will be notated with PRS or P after them in our website. And Cryogenic Laboratories, which was acquired in 2002 in Minnesota. So you'll see that listed on our website as well if a donor originated from Cryogenic Laboratories or from Pacific Reproductive Services. However, they all fall under the umbrella of Fairfax Cryobank. This is the part where you're going to want to collaborate with a medical professional when you are thinking about the vial types and what procedure. There's different acronyms for these vial types. IUI, which is intrauterine insemination. That's where a catheter would be put into the uterus for an insemination procedure, generally done in a physician's office. ICI is intracervical insemination. ART or ART is assisted reproductive technology. IVF is in vitro fertilization. That's when an embryo would be created. And then we have ICSI, which is intracytoplasmic sperm injection, which is a hard word to say. We have the IUI vials. Those are vials that are prepared for an IUI intrauterine insemination procedure. Those are pre-washed vials. They have at least 10 million total motile cells, which is how we provide our quality standard for these vials. The seminal fluid was removed prior to freezing, so it's just the semen cells. We generally recommend that one vial can be used for one procedure, but again, medical professionals are going to have their own specific requirements for the procedure they're going to want to do with you. ICI vials are not washed vials. They still have that seminal fluid. It was not removed before freezing. It has the same quality standard. It's at least 10 million total motile cells. If you're using it for an IUI procedure, your clinic must have the capability of washing the specimen, or if they want to use it for a procedure where the specimen needs to be washed. That's a great question to make sure that you confirm with your physician or medical team before you purchase an ICI vial. Again, we recommend one vial can be used for one procedure. Now, ART vials has less volume. So an IUI or an ICI ART vial is either washed or unwashed. It has 6 million total motile cells as a quality standard. These can be used one individually for an IVF procedure, or if there are not IUI or ICI premium vials available, they can be combined for two vials can be combined for one procedure or home insemination. ICSI vials or are washed vials or unwashed vials. Those will say whether or not they're washed. They have at least 3 million total motile cells. Those are primarily used for IVF or ICSI procedures because they have a smaller volume of cells. I know that was a lot of information. We have this on our website as well that goes through the options, but your physician or medical team should be able to help you determine what route you're taking and what procedure is going to work best for what you're looking at. On our website, we have a variety of donor products and information. During the screening process, we collect a lot of information about the donor so that you can make an educated choice on which donor matches what you're looking for. There's some free products, such as the childhood photo, the summary profile, staff impressions, which are our staff meets with the donors on a regular basis when they're making their donations, and during the screening process. So that's their impressions of the donor as a person based on their interactions. There's a donor essay, which would be the donor responding to specific questions. You get to see little glimpses of their personality there as well. Sometimes that really is helpful in finding if that donor is the one that connects with you. The medical profile and genetic testing summary, those are very important. I always recommend that you talk about that specifically with your medical team if you're working with one, to make sure that this donor is a match for you medically and genetically. Sometimes a clinic or a medical professional will have you do additional testing for yourself if there's something that comes up on the donor's genetic testing. Another place where you can find a really good part of the personality would be the audio clips, both from the donor and the staff. The donor ones, that's them answering questions in their own voice. And the staff would be, again, the staff's impression of that donor. We also have a really great algorithm program called Fairfax Match. That is a computer program where you are able to upload a photo of someone you would want the donor to, what you're looking for, specific physical types. Apologize. I'll review that on the next slide as well. But that's a free program on our website where you can upload a photo and it finds donors that match certain physical points in that photo that you have uploaded. See what's more likely of a match and less likely. There's also products for purchase. The personal profile, the silhouette, which is a side view of the donor so you can see their profile view. Not all of our donors, but some of them offer adult photos or lifetime series photos. Adult photos are generally a childhood photo, as well as one photo of them as an adult. The lifetime series photos go from childhood to adulthood, so it shows the progression. But again, not all of our donors offer both of those or even the adult photos. It just depends on what's available on the website and the profile. There's a full audio interview that's a purchased product, and you can also view their personality types. All right, so the Fairfax Base Match. This is an interactive way to help you select your donor. It uses the sophisticated mathematical technology to compare two facial images, the shape of their facial features, to find a resemblance between the photo you upload and the adult photo of our donor. So that's going to be on our donor search page. You click on Face Match. You'd upload a picture, be it a celebrity, a friend, a partner, whoever you are trying to match next to your donor. The matches are rated based on a high, medium, and low scale, where the high matches occur pretty infrequently because not every photo matches. The donor photos do remain private, but it is a match based on a computer algorithm. So that's definitely a free option. We love to encourage you to use that to see if that's something that helps you find a donor that looks like what you're looking for. Unlimited access packages. These are like one of my favorite things to talk about. All that information that I listed that can be purchased, that adds up really quickly if you're looking at any of the 350 donors that we have available on our website. The best option, in my opinion, is going to be the full access for the 149. That's going to allow you to look at everything available on the website for the donors for 90 days. That includes their photos, the audio interviews. You're also going to be able to view that after your 90 days are up. If it's going to be in your order history in your account. But you find out a ton of information, and that really does help you narrow it down. if you're looking what you're looking for. There are 4 different levels of access to choose from. There's a lot of information that's free. The basic access also adds the personal profile as well as the silhouette. Full access has everything on the website available for 90 days. And then there's Club Fairfax, which really does pay for itself. I always recommend that if you are planning on shipping more than one time to a clinic, because it does include 2 free shipping fees. And if you're planning on buying multiple vials for family planning, if you're planning on getting sibling vials, trying to plan ahead, then we do have a option there for buying 5 vials and receiving the 6th vial for free anytime over the next 12 months. Which if it can add up the vial prices. That's a free vial. It adds up if you're buying multiple vials. But that is best to consider if that is your plan. Sometimes the full access is extremely just beneficial. All right, let me swap this over for the donor search demonstration on our website. One moment. All right, so this is our website and the donor search. From the home page, I always just press here on the donor search option to get in that. And you'll see we have a lot of different categories that you can select as we went through the non-ID and ID options. The height option, if that's something that's super important. The ancestry, I'm going to click on Latino to see what filters here. Hair color, eye color, education. We have graduate donors, which are donors that have achieved additional education past a college degree, such as a PhD or doctorate. We have donors that you can select to see only donors that have adult photos available, as well as if you're looking for a specific preparation type. Any available, if you're looking for donors that just have an IUI premium, let's look for that. The advanced search here is going to go through the donor brands, which different types, if you're looking for specifically a PRS donor or one from cryogenic laboratories. Ethnic backgrounds as well, we have a large range of that if you're looking for a specific ethnic background. Our inventory does change on a day-to-day basis. The website refreshes every day as orders come in. So our inventory, so the ethnic backgrounds, you might be looking for one that is just not available right now, but you can continue to check on our website. We have the skin tone, hair type, if you're looking for a donor with straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair, CMV status, the age range at donation, blood type, the RH factor, which is whether or not the blood type is positive or negative, genetic testing search. Oftentimes, clinics will have you do your own genetic testing prior to getting to this point where you're looking for a donor. So you might be aware of anything that you are a carrier for. You are able to use our genetic disease tested search if you know what you are specifically a carrier for and you do not want to have a donor with the same carrier status as you for that specific trait. There are a lot here. We do a lot of very expanded genetic panel testing. And there's different ways to look for it as well. You can start typing in the trait. I'm trying to think of one to use for an example. I apologize. There's so many. But you can start typing in part of the name and it will narrow it down. if you can't remember how to spell it, because some of these have very long names. You are also able to search by the gene name, if you know the gene name, which not everybody does. So we have all those other options. We also have a genetic counselor on staff who's able to assist you if you have any questions about the genetic testing. The fun part of the search is the astrological signs, the subjects, the personality. This is where the personality really shines through. Jewish ancestry, if they have a favorite pet, personal goals, any talents or hobbies if you're looking for a musical donor. Um, there's a lot of options here to narrow it down. I always try to recommend not to narrow it down too much because you may end up with 0 matches. Mine had 0 exact matches and some partial matches. It'll show you some partial ones. Let's see here. It does only show donors that have vials available in the search. Here, but this is one of the profiles. Again, a lot of the information is free. And then there's a lot that can be viewed once it is purchased or if you have an access package to view. There's also a link on the donors profiles for the access plans. Make it easy to purchase it if you have not done so already. You are able to, if you're ready to pick a donor, add that donor to your cart. Donors that are almost gone are going to recommend that you call so that the client services team, is able to assist you with purchasing, making sure that we have a vial available for you. Let me swap that. So family limits and registrations. Fairfax stops distribution to new clients when there are 25 family units reported in the US. That's something that we check on a regular basis and monitor very strictly. We do distribute globally. We are able to ship internationally, but we do follow all of the local international regulations. For example, in the UK, there's a 10 family limit. So family slots are counted there. We recommend and require in our terms of use letter to report births to us. That way we are able to track accurately and have the best information. Clients who use an ID donor can also complete the ID birth registration so that their child can then come back and ask us for their donor's identifying information once they're 18. The donor conceived person process, the DCP process, that again is when your 18-year-old adult child contacts the cryobank. They're going to reach out to the cryobank and say, hey, I was donor conceived. I would like my donor's information. We're going to have them complete a request form and provide identification so we can confirm that we're only releasing information to someone who is registered. We're going to confirm that ID birth information. We reach out to the donor for their preferred method of contact. We're then able to share that donor's information with the DCP. That's something to consider when you're looking at the donors about whether or not the importance of an ID donor is right for you and your family. We have a lot of resources. We have our blog where we have previous webinars, posts, and articles. We also have our newsletter, which I always recommend you sign up for. That does include notifications of sales or promotions. And we have our family forums, where you can connect with other people purchasing from our donor program, as well as if you have a birth or pregnancy reported, you're able to connect with families who use the same donor. Now that you're ready to purchase, the biggest form that we spoke about earlier is the terms of use form. Making sure that is filled out before you call us or place your order online is going to be the quickest way to get that order. You're going to want to call us or place your order online, but you're going to want to know what your donor number is, the vial type and number of vials that you want to purchase, the clinic information, their shipping address, or if you are wanting to pick it up, you are able to pick up locally from our Fairfax, Virginia location if you're in that area. We also have different locations where you can store the vials for long-term or short-term storage. Our number is listed here, as well as the email where you can ask general questions. The quickest way to reach client services is going to be by phone. Sometimes we do have long wait times, but we do our very best to answer all the calls and questions. The international team, their email is global@fairfaxcryobank.com. That is for anyone who is planning on shipping outside of the US, specifically if you're trying to ship in the UK. We're going to be able to assist you directly there. We do have a promotion today for the full access. It's going to give you $149 off, or the free full access package if you use FFX Cryo 2024 today.